Hey, welcome to my channel where I talk about my dolls, and that's literally it. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing all my American Girl Sonali mold dolls. But since I don't have Sonali herself, I'm starting out with my Sonali, what we call the look-alike, Truly Me 47, who I in my collection have named Divia. But before I get to the Truly Me 47, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the mold, of course. It was introduced in 2009 with Sonali. And until I sat down to do this video and counted all the dolls, I thought there were way more than only 16 because I don't feel like I have that many of her dolls, and I have 12. Granted, a couple of them are customs and CYO, but still, I just always thought there were more because I have so many. And I, as for Sonali herself, I know she's obviously popular because she's one of the most expensive dolls to chase on a secondary market. And even though I clearly love the doll, the mold, considering I have 12 of them, I did get a chance to see her in person. I went to buy some dolls from someone a couple times, but within the last like month or so, and she had a Sonali. And I don't know, maybe my expectations were too high, but when I picked her up, I literally thought it was a Truly Me doll. And uh, it did remind me a lot of this doll, but I just thought there would be more hair on the Sonali because in pictures it always looks like so long and so full. And maybe that's why I didn't love her as much as I did, because I'll get to another Sonali mold doll in a second, who to me is not just the most perfect Sonali mold doll, but she has way more hair. So maybe that's why she put my not expectation, but what I my ideal version of Sonali mold hair. Anyway, I don't feel the need to chase Sonali is what I'm saying. Not just because of the price. Yeah, let's say mostly because of the price and because she doesn't meet the expectation of what you'd expect from a doll who's that expensive on the secondary market. So now back to my Truly Me 47, who I said I've named Divia. In my collection, I have her on display in part of my best friend's world. And her character is like a studious, obviously, somebody who's really worried about her grades, which it's not supposed to be a cliche because she's an Indian character, but she is a little inspired by a Bollywood movie or a Hindi language movie called Student of the Year. Not that she's specifically inspired by Alia Bhatt's character, but just that kind of character, or just somebody who would fit into that movie, because even though it's like a fun, movie with fun songs that does deal with the serious issues that students go through in India, at least, probably other Asian countries as well, where there's a lot of pressure on the kids to be well, or to do well and be the top of their class to be the student of the year. And so that's why she's got that pressure on her to be the student, or she's student president in her school in the story, and has a president, a what would you call her, a co-student, a peer, who's also just as studious as she is. So instead of rivaling each other and battling against each other, they've just joined forces because they both have the same kind of pressures from their family to do well. So they relate to each other, and that's why they are going for co-presidents together. And as I've said, she reminds me enough of Sonali that I do not need Sonali, and I think she might have been my first Sonali mold doll, if not one of two. And I'll get to the other one, obviously, within this video, who might be the one I got first. So that's enough about Divia, and I've shown her quite a few times in my videos, but I've never really gotten so, not that I got really deep, but I never explained this much, so I feel like, there's some bonus content here. And if you hear some background noise going in and out, it's because it's hot in here and my AC is going to be going in and out. And having said that for no reason, I can now get to the doll who, to me, is the ultimate Sonali mold, and she's my favorite doll. And if anybody has seen my other videos, even one or two, you probably know who I'm going to be talking about. And the character's name in my world is Dipa Trivedi, but she is the limited edition Jasmine doll. And I bought her not to be Jasmine because, sorry, my first video was me unboxing this doll, and it's a terrible video. Please don't watch it. But I got her with the intention of going into what I had a little section in my collection called, that sounded really funny, called my International Girl collection instead of American Girl. So they're American Girl dolls, but they would have been from different parts of the world, not just America. So she's from India, of course. And because my partner's from India, she was supposed to be like a female counterpart to my partner. So that's why she gets a little spoiled, I think, having so many outfits. And Uh, she's currently wearing an outfit I just got from the Amazon Prime deals, Cubby's performance outfit with some pieces of the amethyst birthstone outfit, the choker and the hair clips, just to keep, because she's got, this is what I was saying, where Sonali does not, like, her wig doesn't have anything on Jasmine or in my collection, Dipa's wig. Because part of the reason I love this doll so much and wanted her was because all that hair, all that like thick, long black hair. So she's got like the ultimate Sonali mold wig. And I'm trying to think if haven't said something about her, but honestly, I've talked about her so much. There's no way that I could think of anything new to say other than she is my favorite doll. And again, it could be because she represents my partner, so I'm going to have a bias toward her, or just because she's so beautiful. And I do love the details that go into the limited edition dolls. Like even her eyebrows are unique, and she's got this like winged glitter makeup up by her eyes. So even though she was super duper expensive and I had to go through a few loops to get her, she's just, maybe it's because of that she's the ultimate doll in my collection, and definitely the ultimate Sonali mold doll. So that must be everything. I'm going to think of more to say one day though. And next I'm going to move on to another doll I've shown a couple times. And another thing to say about the Sonali mold that most people would know by now is that we almost consider there are two, because it's like, this is the old Sonali mold where her features, like her eyes are like wider spread apart. They're a little bit less sunken in. And to me, I like both versions of the mold, but I might prefer the new one, which is not a popular opinion. I know that, but I like that the mold is a little bit more detailed. Like there's more detail around the nostrils. It's like there's more depth to the mold. Like that's why her eyes are sunken in, and to some people that doesn't look as pleasant. So having said, the reason I'm saying that is because I'm about to pull out the boy Sonali mold with the newer version. So he's got the deeper set eyes that are closer together. And his name is Zachariah. He's truly me 113. I keep peeking down at my paper because I will never remember the numbers. And it's probably obvious he's part of Courtney's world. The reason I named him Zachariah, there's a couple reasons. One of my friends, not a friend, but a family friend growing up, named their kid Zachariah. And I wanted a name that could reflect something 80s. And what's more 80s than Saved by the Bell? So it made me, it was like a different version of the name Zach, like Zach Morris. And he is wearing an outfit that as a child in the 80s, I would have loved to have worn. But I think because my family didn't have a lot of money to, I have an older brother who was kind of he's so much older than I am that he was a teenager when I was a child. So I think my parents would buy him the best clothes, and then they would tell me, oh no, you can't have that because that's teenager clothes. So I had this idea in my head that the really cool clothes from the 80s that I wanted to wear weren't for me because I was a kid. But looking back, and from other comments I've read in my videos where I've talked about these not being kids' clothes, it could just be that, like, my parents lied to me so that I wouldn't be like jealous or upset that I couldn't have acid wash. And that's literally one of the things. I loved acid wash and stone wash so much as a kid that I would like beg for it, and they'd be like, you can't have acid wash, you're a kid, your brother can have it because he's a teenager. So I really went into my life thinking, through my life thinking that, oh, this was a teenager style. But anyway, this was the style I would have wanted to have. And it's all Courtney's clothes, obviously, because there aren't boy clothes from any of the collections, really. And I like the fact that his favorite color is pink, because as a kid, my favorite color was pink. It's not anymore, but I do love pink still. And so I always try to reflect a lot of myself. I hope we all do this as collectors. I try to reflect a lot of myself in my collection. And I'm talking really fast about him. I think I got excited talking about acid wash. So yeah, like I was saying, he's the newer Sonali mold. So if you look, his eyes are closer together, more sunken in. His nose is more defined, and he's got only one earring because that was an 80s thing. And a funny story about this earrings being in the 80s, one earring being a boy thing, was when my brother, who, like I've said, was a teenager, he did all the cool stuff, he came home and said that he wanted one earring in his left ear. And my dad was like, an earring? That's for girls. And he's like, no, Dad. Guys are supposed to have one earring now. It's really cool. My dad was like, oh, one earring is cool for guys? That's that's the current thing. So not only did he take my brother out to get his one ear pierced, they got my ear pierced too, because they're like, you're a boy, you need that one earring in your ear. And I checked because obviously I had it as a kid, so it never closed up. So that's why he's got it in his left ear, because that was the one, if the stereotype was that in this ear is for manly men and in the right ear is for girly men, if you know what I'm saying. So I had to get the earring put into my left ear. He's got someone's hair in his hair. So that's one thing I haven't told about Zachariah. He's got the left earring to sort of contradict all the pink he wears. He's progressive. He doesn't care. So let me sit him over here in front of Divia. Oh no, he's wearing really stiff acid wash jeans. I didn't plan this out properly. I don't know if he's gonna be able to. He's gonna hold a pose. My slippery marble table. Oh, and okay, this is good. I'm gonna go into the next boy doll, who is in the older Sonali mold, so maybe you'll be able to see the difference of them close together. Maybe I'll bring them both up. So this is, his name in my collection is Rohan. He's truly me 76. I'm having trouble standing him up because, for one thing, he sits in my display, but another thing, he's got this game controller pulling him forward. So in my collection, as I mentioned, she represents India, as my partner is Indian, but this doll is kind of like my partner's mini-me. So the name is, that's my partner's name, not Rohan, but that's just the name I gave the doll. And one day I'm probably going to give him 75's true black wig because my partner's hair is not this light. But everything else, it's enough. Like the skin tone's correct. The eye color, instead of being the dark brown, these are the amber eyes. If you want to look at him closer up. So he's got, right? Yeah, he's got the lighter brown eyes, which they don't really do anymore. Now they do the light brown decal eyes. But my partner doesn't have like very dark eyes. He has like what I would call bright brown eyes. Not light brown, they're like bright brown. And so I one day would want to make him look a little bit more accurate. In the meantime, he's wearing the video game outfit with the Truly Me jacket. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get him to stand because I want to bring over the other boy who I finally got to sit down. But just so you can see maybe the little mild differences, the minor differences in their sculpts, how they've changed over the years. I can't really tell. No, I can. So yeah, he's got, his eyes are wider apart, not as sunken in. And his, as I already mentioned, his nostrils are more defined. There's just more definition in the sculpt now, I find. But people don't seem to like that. I think, we like what we are familiar with, and change is bad. But I love change. I love seeing little differences because, that's why I do these videos, to show off how different the dolls can be, even though they're technically the same doll. And I'm sure you've noticed or already knew that the boy dolls, they just take the dolls, the original sculptor mold, and they close the mouths. And I read once that, I read a few times, that they didn't make all the molds into boy dolls. They took the dolls with the masculine features and made them boys by closing their mouths, but talking about the wider jaw or widening their jaw. And it's just like, these are dolls. If you take a kid and you grow out their hair or you cut their hair, you're not going to know. You're just going to go based on things like that. So I don't think any of the dolls really have masculine or feminine features. It's just that I personally have accepted that closed mouths are boys. I don't know. I guess it's because that's what they did. It's not like boys aren't allowed to smile or anything. But I've said that quite a few times recently. And so let me put my partner's two doll representations here. But before I move on to a doll, I love so much, and I last time I talked about this, I said she's not popular. People chimed in about how much they love her. So I'm like, okay, I was just wrong. Or I just, sometimes people are louder when they don't like something, and we don't really focus enough on the people who love something. So anyway, this is Truly Me 91. Her name is Violet, and it should be obvious that I put her into Corinne's world. She's Corinne's BFF in my mind, but I haven't read Corinne's story, so I don't know I know she's got sisters, but like a baby and a little sister, well, you wish her sister, but I only know that assuming from the things that were sold online. So she's got a mix of, she's got Corinne's, like her figure skating outfit, and some of her meat accessories. And I don't need to say much else about her other than she's got the darkest skin tone, and she's the only doll I think released so far of the Sonali mold with the deepest, they call number 35 skin tone. And then she's got gray eyes and curly purple hair, which, people don't love. Not everybody loves the bright colored hair. But maybe they decided with the, popularity of Rainbow High and all that kind of stuff, that you know, they want to try these things. And I've also heard that the painted eyelashes, she doesn't have those. I've heard that the painted eyelashes, oh, she has them. I'm like, do any of these dolls even have those yet? Was because people were doing customs and adding like makeup. So they probably thought there was a market for it. And I've said this so many times recently, but I really love the extra makeup on the dolls, as long as it's not like toddlers and tiaras makeup, if you know what I mean. So moving on to the next doll. She's another doll I've shown quite a few times recently because I added to I added her to a new series of dolls I bought. But I have changed up her outfit a little bit for this video because, well, I've actually shown her in quite a few different looks. But this is my CYO doll, whom I still haven't named. And I uh, added her to as a cousin to a collection of dolls I have who are siblings, and they're on like a cowboy ranch kind of scene that I put them in. But I have to say, I don't know enough about that, let's call it lifestyle or style, to know if I'm really dressing them correctly. I'm just kind of going by my non-cowboy knowledge. So if her chaps are on wrong, these are Nikki's chaps, by the way, and this is the new thing I added to her for this video because I'm trying to mix it up because I've shown her so much recently, and she's a doll I have had for a long time, but all of a sudden I'm just talking about her all the time. And she's wearing what I would imagine is a Maple Leaf hat, but I don't know because it was in a clothing lot. So were these pants, right? That was in a clothing lot. Yeah, I think this is in a clothing lot. And then she's wearing an old Maple Leaf outfit or top and boots underneath, and the boots are old, so I have to like think long and hard about every time I'm going to change her because they're starting to shred inside because they're like a faux leather. So I just have to keep in mind and be careful with them. And Nikki's chaps, I don't know if it's because she's an older doll, maybe she's thicker. I had to uh, double-sided tape them in together in the back because they were too big and they wouldn't stay up. So if they look funny, that could be why too. But anyway, I think the cowboy dolls are really cute, even though it's something I would never want to dress like. There's nothing wrong with dressing like a cowboy. I'm just saying for my own personal style, I would never dress like a cowboy. I would never wear cowboy boots or a cowboy hat. So if anybody's out there who likes the style and you're like, you're doing it wrong, you're right. I'm sorry. But I just think they look really cute. Oh, and I found her on Facebook Marketplace, but honestly, she was only $60 Canadian, which is probably like maybe 42 US. Very, very cheap. And I had no idea the quality of the pictures was so low. She was so blurry that I was like, is that an Addie sculpt or a Sonali sculpt? Like, you would never confuse those dolls, but the quality was so low that I really could not even tell. And I was like, well, it'll be a nice surprise. For $60, I'm going to chance it. And I mean, I would like other sculpt anyway, but I couldn't tell what eye color she had. I was pretty certain she had red hair, but it could have been brown. And I could see that she had a lightish tone. I think it's a medium skin tone, but again, couldn't tell. And she was a little bit dirty when I got her. It wasn't anything I couldn't clean up with a magic eraser. So I wasn't mad at all. But the only thing I didn't like was she came with that Let's Party outfit, the fuchsia looking outfit. It's so ugly. Unless you're a kid, and if you do like it, we just have different taste. But yeah, so she was a really cheap CYO, and I would never, if I made a CYO, I would love to get red hair, but I wouldn't never do blue eyes, I don't think, because even though I have blue eyes, I wouldn't choose blue eyes. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? I just want to say anything because people are like, I have blue eyes. But it's like, yeah, so do I. I don't hate them. It's just I would never choose them. Oh, I'm saying a lot because I feel like I'm saying some insulting things. So I should be like more considerate. Okay, and I'm moving on now to another older Sonali mold doll. So it's I think that means she's the historical Melody and not the Be Forever Addie. Be Forever, what did I call her name? Melody. And so, you know, if I'm wrong, you can correct me. But to me, she looks like the older mold. The things to look out for are that the bangs are a little bit longer. Like when she became Be Forever Melody, her bangs, they're already pretty short if you ask me, but they were even shorter. And then her eyes would have been more sunken in and closer together. So she's in her doo-wop outfit with her tambourine. It's really hard to get on, so I wasn't gonna take it off. It's somewhat works. I mean, it serves a purpose. And she's got on her hair accessories set, I think you would call it. I put a headband, the headband that goes with this, I put it over the hair. It comes with a headband underneath, but I put it over the hair to kind of keep it down because it doesn't It's so cute, but it's really hard to get it to sit right, especially to stay on her head. And the big thing I would say about this hair extension piece over her actual hair is it's less textured than her actual hair. So the hair is a little bit thicker, and it does, I guess, keep this little flip at the bottom. But I do, I do like that textured hair, and I like the texture she has. It's not exactly like old Addie's, but it's more texture than like Truly Me 80, for example, who won't be in this video because she's a Sonali mold. No, she's a Josefina mold. But just to mention that, like, her hair is a little bit, I think it's a little bit more textured than Truly Me 80, but nowhere near Melody's actual textured hair. And as you can see, the fringe, the fringe is fringing, and this is such a cute outfit. She's got such a great wardrobe, even though I don't think I'm really biased toward the 1960s that much. I just really like the doll and a lot of her accessories. So that's Melody. And next, I can move on to, you know what? I wasn't supposed to bring her up next. Not that there's any real order, but I want to bring this standing doll, sitting doll, standing doll, sitting doll. So I'll bring the sitting doll who goes over here, and her name is Macy. She's Truly Me 112, and she is the most new looking mold out of all the new Sonali molds. So her eyes to me are so sunken that she almost looks cross-eyed, which is better than, you know, the eyes going outward. So to me, she looks really cute. And I got her to be like a little singer in my collection. I really liked. It took a long time for Tenny to grow on me, not just because of her history, which I'll get into in a little bit later, but not just because of her history, but because I didn't love the classic mold at first. I got Logan pretty early on, and I loved the hands, so it was nothing to do with that. It was just, I don't know, that classic mold was very jarring when I first started collecting. So I had no intention, but I liked her clothes, and I liked her, that it was like a different style from most of my other dolls. So that was my intention, to get her. And I got another doll, a Marie Grace mold doll, so she won't be in this video, who also wears Tenny's clothes, and they are like a little duo together. She's a singer, and so I named her, I like to think that she has like a really raspy, bluesy voice, like Macy Gray, who's a singer from it would have been early 2000s, maybe late 90s. She had that one huge hit, I Try. So I named her Macy Brown because Macy Gray was just too much. Not that Macy Gray is that far off, but it's enough that I feel like it's an homage without being like, really, you think that looks like Macy Gray? And I also got her because there was this Halloween costume that came out last year, and she looked so cute in it. And I can't wait for Halloween so I could put her back in it. But for now, she's just, you know, performing on stage with her best friend, Tawny, not to be confused with Tenny, because that's how original I am. So yes, she's also, oh, and this wig, it's like part of me is sad that she's the only doll who has this wig, because it's an amazing wig. You can do so much with it. It's so easy to style. It's so like nice to the touch. Would make any doll look cute, but it's also nice that it's exclusive to her because it makes her that much more special and unique. But I do think one day they'll do this or a variation of it on other dolls, because it is a really great wig. So I think if anybody is against the new Sonali mold, because I know people don't like it as much, at least get her for this wig. Like, she is so cute, and she has so much like personality because of her wig. You do like so much with her, like her backstory, because, you know, Truly Me dolls don't have any backstories. And now I'll move on to the doll I was supposed to introduce before, because she's also a Truly Me 91, and she's a custom. So sorry, let me just, I don't want her to look funky, or like bad funky when I show her, because I really, really love how she turned out. Anyway, her name is Margarite. She's up in Joss's world. Oh yeah, I forgot these pants are big on her, so they might sag a little bit. Anyway, so now you can see her. She's just Truly Me, I just said it and I already forgot, 91. But I gave her 106's wig, which is a darker curly wig, long curly hair. And I recently did a video where I put her in this outfit because she was wearing Corinne's meat outfit before. And I took out the twist buns up here. I don't know if we call them space buns, bantu knots, or whatever you want to call them. And I regretted it right away. I hated how she looked. Like, she lost so much of her character. So now recording this video, inspired me or motivated me to put her hair back to what it was supposed to be. And I have no idea what she's wearing. This cute jean jacket. These two pieces are the pants and the top are definitely American Girl. I got it in a clothing lot, and I didn't know exactly what was going to be in that lot when I opened it up. So there was a lot of surprises. And this bandana around her neck, it's supposed to be on her, like it's like a hairband, but I have it as a sort of a necktie, bandana, whatever, neckerchief, because it covers her the the V neck top shows too much of her body, and the neck, so her cloth body and her neck joint. So it's there, and I don't know. To me, it suits her personality. And she's got Converse style. What are these? Mid tops, high tops. This came with the first Healthy Roots doll named Zoe, and because she's wearing all navy and yellow, I thought this is the perfect thing. So I don't know if I can. Yeah, let me just. So to show you, they're really quite similar, but I wanted to make a, let's say, I don't know, how do I say this, natural version of 91, because as I said earlier, she's the only doll so far with, I want to look at camera, with the darkest skin tone. So even though I love her with the purple hair and gray eyes, I really wanted to see her with dark hair and dark brown eyes. So just a wig swap and eye swap, and she's a little beauty in my collection. I think I've said all I need to say about her because I've shown her pretty recently, and a lot of my dolls I talk about a lot, but I don't expect everyone to remember or to see more than a couple videos, because how could you? Oh, okay. Now this is another doll who's pretty new, but I haven't shown her as much as I should have, considering how beautiful and amazing she is. This is Cecile. It's the Cecile with the second wig, which is sort of a more reddish version of Claudie's wig, in my opinion. She's the older Sonali mold, so all the things I've already said, you can see them here. And her hazel eyes really pop against the... She's called dark. I think this is like the 30-ish tone. It's around 30. But to be honest, all my dolls, no matter what color or skin tone it is, I can't... There's always slight variation, so I can't be 100% with the dolls that don't say on the website, like a Truly Me doll would say exactly what tone they are. I can't be certain, but I think she's supposed to be a 30. And I got her for my birthday. She was, I'm going to say, allegedly new in box. You never know. Like, somebody could have just put her back in the box after having her on display, because she is an older doll. But when I picked her up, she looked new in box. Her hairnet was still on. Everything was still like strapped in. And you just never know how talented somebody is at putting a doll back together. And so I'm really, I never thought I would have her, even though I tried a couple times. Both times failed. The last minute, the seller pulled out for whatever reason. So I was just like, well, if I'm meant to have her one day, I'll have her. And then the one I had, because as I said, this is the second wave hair wig, and the first wave had like those sausage curls that who has those? I think 67, Truly Me 67. It's Sonali with just a different like style of it, but there's those long, thick curls. And I don't even know if I have a doll with those exact curls, but anyway, that's my birthday, one of my many birthday gifts to myself, because it's like I'm always buying dolls, but then at my birthday, it's like an excuse to be a little bit more, I don't know, over the top. Even though really, I say like, oh, now I can buy this expensive doll, but nothing's stopping me when it's not my birthday. It's just, I like to tell myself that I'm doing it for my birthday. So Cecile, so happy to have her. And these last two dolls I'm going to share, I haven't shared them before because they're pretty new and I haven't had a reason to bring them on, to bring them into a video, to bring them on camera. And I'm going to start with Gabriella. So this is what I was talking about. I was mentioning her earlier, whether it was some controversy. I probably brought it up because of talking about Tenny. I don't remember why I brought it up. But this is, so most people will already know this, but I would be weird if I brought her on and didn't talk about it. She was basically a rerun of Truly Me 46. And, collectors believe she only exists because there was a lot of demand and hope for a girl of the year, a black girl of the year, or a girl, like a girl of color of the year, maybe. And there hadn't been, I think so far she's the only black girl of the year. So it seemed like they were about to do Tenny and Logan as the doll, like Tenny, girl of the year, and her best friend Logan, all that stuff. And people were just fed up, and they said the outcry must have reached Mattel because Then they rush this doll into production. Either they had a lot of 67s left over, or they're like, well, this is an easy one to make. We still have everything we need. Just put her in a new outfit and recolor some other pieces. Like I think McKenna's bed. And so she doesn't have, I believe she doesn't really have anything original, maybe a couple outfits that probably would have been tennies because they're like performance outfits too. So I didn't have her on my radar, I think because I already have so many Sonali mold dolls. And then when I went to buy, when I was talking about where I went to buy some dolls and she had Sonali, so I got to see Sonali. I saw this Gabriella and I loved the way her hair fell. And she just has a really cute face. And the seller had said so, that she has this really cute Gabriella. But it's one thing to see them in pictures and in person. And in person, I was trying not to fall in love because I was like, I'm already picking up like, I don't know, I think I was already picking up 2 or 3 dolls. And I was like, do I really need to buy 2 more? Because, well, the answer is yes, obviously. But the other problem I had with Gabriella is her meat outfit shows her cloth body, which is just my weird, and I'm not alone on this, but it's just, I never shut up about it, I feel like sometimes. So I was trying to think of like, she could be a top shelf doll, and when she's looking down, you wouldn't really see from up above. Because she was just so cute, I was like, I have to figure out a way to justify buying her. And this is based on pictures, like she's one of the best Gabriellas I've ever seen, and I think everybody who has Gabriella would say that about their Gabriella, but I mean it. I'm the one, like, in my case, it's true. I'm kidding. But like, yeah, she is, and I never would have bought her, but I saw one in person. That always gets you. And so I'm happy to have her. And this was the best way or best reason to introduce her. Sorry, I like all my dolls staring at the camera. Oh. I didn't even make her stare at the camera. Anyway, so Gabriella, and now my last doll takes a little bit of explanation. And let me just primp her up a little bit first before I bring her out. No, she's fine. I'm being picky. So anyway, this is a custom doll. Well, it's a rewigged doll. And when I bought her, so I've named her Octavia. And when I bought her, she was already de-wigged, which means I'm not totally certain this is truly me 67. Yeah, 67. The doll I mentioned a moment ago with the long sausage curls. And my original plan, sorry, I should explain it a little bit better too. So she's, let's say 67, because she's got that skin tone, the feathered eyebrows, and she doesn't look like Gabriella, because they're lip color. I think their lip color is a bit different. So that's why I think she's 67 and not, what was the original one? 47? She's not 47 or Gabriella. That's just my guess. I didn't know. I didn't ask. I don't know because I didn't ask. And so the person I bought this doll from, de-wigged, she asked me to pick up a Claudie doll for her. And she said, de-wig Claudie and you can keep the wig. So I thought, okay, now I need a doll to put this wig on because I love this wig. So when I got it, I was thinking I could make a sort of second Cecile to put in, because this is a Cecile type outfit, which I bought from the same seller I bought this Gabriella, and the Claudia I ended up de-wigging for somebody else. So I thought this is the perfect reason. I was going to like swap her eyes, make them hazel, because I do have a doll with hazel eyes, but I just love brown eyes so much that I decided to keep her like this. And I think she still, at least for now, exists within Cecile's world. I named her Octavia after Cecile's aunt, which doesn't make any sense because her aunt would not be a child at the time. Cecile's a child, but I like the name. It suits her, and she's keeping it. And even if I time warp her and change her around, she's still going to be Octavia. So she's got a handmade outfit. I don't know who made it because I bought it secondhand, and the ribbons are pretty much a perfect match, even if it doesn't look like it on camera. And then she's wearing a pair of like Cecile and Marie Grace's boots, like something that would have been shared within their collection. And I'm feeling like she's not going to fit sitting down because I didn't leave enough room for everyone. But before I put Margarite's buns back on, these look like the same doll, even though their skin tone's very different. It's because of the wig too. So that was another reason I really had to get Margarite's hair done before I showed these dolls together. So as I've said, I have 12 Sonali mold dolls. It's not that I have 12 different ones, customs and and CYO. So there are a few more out there that I don't have, and I'm hoping I don't need any more because where would I even put them all? But now I should have, you might already know that I've done this as a series, and Sonali was the next mold in the series by introduction year. So I'm going to add this to a playlist, which will pop up somewhere over here. It might be in a few moments because I talk a lot even at the end. And I will probably try to continue with the other molds. It's just I have to do combination videos because I don't have enough of the other dolls to make each one its own video. And it'll probably be a while before I get back to it. Not that it matters, because you just watch the videos as I release them. Nobody's really worried about, where's this video you promised us, which is nice. So thank you. And thank you again for watching, of course, to everyone out there. And so yeah, playlist will be over here for all the doll mold videos I've done. And I will see you soon in the next one.